Welcome in everybody listening right now. Bodega X, Richard Dowling, Mike Els, everybody, man, in the chat. Salute. Everybody waiting. Salute. We got me and my man Stixx here. We're gonna play this little clip real quick and then we're gonna get into it, man. This shit's gonna be fire. Boom. This shit looks tough, bro.
That's one of my favorite songs.
That's you right there.
We make movies, baby.
What the fuck is that?
They say I ain't the same, wow, we feel the same shit. I just ain't wanna show the other side cause I get crazy. I love the flashing lights and that low back for that 380. Yeah, I so back that 9 by the SD40, my baby. Red beam on that bitch and they got no safety. I recommend not to fuck with me cause they get dangerous. I'm riding for my brothers and farmers, they tryna frame us. I cut your legs quick if I find out where you lay.
Riding, shooting, and driving, spinning, lurking, and sliding. Nobody outside. And
these niggas is hiding.
Shoot whoever outside if these niggas is hiding.
Anybody outside, then these niggas is dying.
Bag on his head, put 50 on his shit. Catch a washy morning and I empty on your bitch. Glizzy with a dick.
That's a glizzy with a switch.
Take the 30 with the Drake.
That's a glizzy with a stick.
I flame for you, tatted this name for you, going insane for you, bringing the pain for you. They even know I'm coming and snowing the rain for you. Caught her up, dropped them, hoping he came to you.
They ain't the same, wow, we still the same shit. I just ain't wanna show the other side cause I get crazy. I love the flashing lights and that low back for that 380. I also back that 9 by the SD40, my baby. Red beam on that bitch and they got no safety. I recommend not to fuck on me cause they get dangerous. I'm riding for my brothers and farmers, they tryna frame us. I cut your legs quick if I find out where you laying. I take that bitch from my brother cause we only got each other. Put the work in the stash in case he run up in the spot. I swear they ain't see me coming, I'ma turn it up a notch. I'm too deep up in the trenches, that's why I just need some love. She keep touching on my body, I know she just wanna fuck. I swear she be on some damn shit, I don't want no lame bitch. I hope you understand what I'm saying, babe, speak my language. Can't send me for back, I'ma fuck her and buy a plan B. I need me a low model, bitch, might fly out to Miami. I ain't no industry, nigga, I'm active with this damn. You can't look me in my face and call me your brother, we ain't family. No.
Okay, then, man. I got my man Stixx in the house, bro. What's good, my dude?
Coolin'. How's everything?
Man, I'm good, bro. I've been waiting to get this live with you, bro. So everybody in the chat that's showing up that watched that last video, we're gonna get into a bunch of shit that we haven't yet in that video, just questions I have from it. Then we're gonna get into a bunch of shit, man. Just stick around, bro. Hit that like button. Please subscribe if you want to become a member. Please do. It's $2.99. You could support a real movement, a real motherfucker doing some real shit, and it's only $2.99 a month. So Stixx, man, what's up, bro? You're from Franklin Hill. Was that video just now? Was that clips of Franklin Hill?
No, that's actually Lawrence. Where my artist Bodega X. That's on that song where he's from. That's his city.
Okay. So, why did you do it out there?
Because we had just signed them to the label that day, and it was more about him that day. You see him signing in the video was a big day for him. So we shot it in the store. There's a big resale store in Lawrence, and just made it
Word.
about him that day. The day was based around him.
Okay, that's what's up. So I know you got a bunch of people signed to your label. Let's just get that out of the way real quick. My fault for the feedback. Sounds like I'm getting a little feedback right now, but damn. Yeah. So what was the what's the symbolism behind that time is money jumpsuit that all your rappers are wearing in the videos and shit? And while you're answering, I'm gonna fix this sound real quick.
That's one of the 2-3 logos that we came up with, but the symbolics behind time is money is just, like we spoke about before, just turning your time into money, whether it's every day you getting paid for whatever you're doing to put in, you're getting paid for that, you're turning your time into money, or just the time I did in prison, just turning that into money. You feel what I'm saying? Just turning it into something positive, and taking the time I have now and just turning it into money.
Word. So let me know in the chat if this is sounding better now. But you need a joint with Stixx. You hear? What do you mean by that, my dog? What's the deal? What's going on, ignorant? Hey, anybody in the chat, let me know how this is sounding real quick before we go on, because I want to make sure the audio is good. It sounds like it's still echoing. Stixx, I don't know if your man's in there still.
Nah, he put away his phone.
Okay. Let me try to fix this real quick. I apologize real quick, but no big deal. So Stixx, while I'm fixing this, can you just let the chat know how much time you did in the feds and where you went and just a little bit about that and why you went there.
Federally, I had a case out of Maine for conspiracy, a drug conspiracy, and distribution of guns. And I did 13 years in the feds for that.
Damn. So I'm gonna switch my mic real quick, bro. That's it. That's all I gotta do. I'm gonna switch my mic real quick. Just stay tuned home. Better now? Fuck, man.
Still a feedback?
Yeah, bro. It's hitting a little bit of feedback, but it is what it is, bro. I think it should be all right. Everybody in the chat, man, let me know if this is feeding back a little bit still. Let me know if it's echoing, please. Okay, much better. All right, so Stixx, let me ask you about your Fed time and shit. Or actually, let me start off real quick before your Fed time. You said at one point you ended up in Maine. Can you tell me a little bit about how you ended up in Maine and why?
I went out there for money.
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 Okay. Can you explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah. What are you asking in depth and detail?
Kind of just how you ended up in Maine. Did you end up out there because you were trying to hustle, or what was you
hustling, definitely hustling.
Okay, so how did you end up from in the feds from Maine? I don't get it.
I caught a conspiracy case. I was being investigated for like maybe between a year or two, and I was dealing with some people and dealing with guns, having them going to get guns, bringing them back to mass. A lot of people were getting caught with the guns. They end up ratting. Then they went back to the people, I guess, that bought the guns, and they end up telling, and that led to a whole conspiracy that ended up leading back to a whole bunch of drugs.
Damn. And so, damn, I feel like it's echoing like a month. So what did you do when you got caught? Did you get arrested, go to county, and then get bailed out, or did you go right to the state prison or feds or whatever it was?
I went on a run from the feds for probably like 2 weeks. Then I knew they were on me because they had raided one of one of my condos in Maine, and I knew they were on me. Whatever, they chased me around for like probably a week before I was even on a run for 2 weeks. So they had hit my spot. I knew they were on me. I came back to Mass, went on a run for 2 weeks, and then when they finally caught me, they caught me in Brockton. Um, so when they caught me like with weapons and a whole bunch of shit. So I had to initially case. They didn't just come right off the bat and just snatch me. They just sat and waited, let the state deal with it. And I sat for the gun case. I went back and forth to court for like 2, 3 months. And I went to court my last time after like 3 months. And my lawyer told me, like, I got good news and bad news for you. I'm like, what's the good news? He's like, the case is dropped for all the stuff they found in the house in Brockton. And I'm like, what's the bad news? He's like, the feds is here to pick you up. And they picked me up, arraigned me downtown in federal court in Boston, and brought me up to Maine. And I sat up there for like maybe a little over a year fighting the case. Um,
What's it
they,
like being locked up in Maine?
um, jail heaven,
Jail heaven?
jail
Explain that.
heaven. Their systems are a little more different than Mass or other urban places and stuff like that because they're catered towards a certain demographic. So at that point in time, that was like what 2008, beginning of 2008, like winter, spring 2008. I had been to multiple prisons in Florida, Mass, all over the place. So the things I seen in that prison I never seen before. There was no limit on commissary. They had jobs that pay like you were in the street. Some of the dudes that had Lisa cases from that area, they could do their time on the weekends, get out Monday. It was just different. You get thumbs drives. This is back then, 2008. You can get thumb drives with all
What?
type of videos and porn and movies on it. It was just different. You get interaction with females. The lockdown was like at 12 o'clock. Then if you work, you're out from 12 o'clock to 6 in the morning, so you really never locked down. It was just sweet.
Wow. So you can get thumb drives in the prison. How did you get them? Did you get them illegally or?
No, like this is how sweet this jail was. When you had a visit, say your peoples or your family come up, they could drop off used magazines from the house, used DVDs and thumb drives, and then after the visit you get it. So they had like DVD lists on the wall, and I can get DVDs not from a store, from my house dropped off, and then they go automatically on the DVD list as soon as you leave. Magazines don't got to be from the store, from your house off a coffee table, and you get them as soon as you leave. You can get Playboy in there, magazines. It was just like ridiculous. This is the crazy thing about it, man. I'm about to fuck your head up. This jail would do tournaments, like 3 tournaments a week on every unit. So, say on our unit, it might be spades, 3-on-3 basketball, and a spelling bee. Whoever wins those tournaments goes to a private room. You could pick 3 or 4 people, and you could order $30 worth of food from anywhere on them. It
Yo,
was
that sounds
unbelievable.
like a DYS facility. Remember they used to
Every
let us.
channel, Cinemax, HBO, Showtime, soft porn, all of that. That jail was ridiculous.
So let
And
me
what-
ask you a question about that because they don't allow that in any other prison in the country. Probably. I mean, I can only imagine because I mean they didn't allow it where I was at, and they gave a bunch of good reasons why. What is it like being in there when there's dudes watching porn? Did your cellies watch porn when you was in there? Like, how did they
It's
do
out
that?
on the tiers, no TVs in the cells, just like a federal jail. The TVs are out on the tier. But yeah.
So everybody would just sit around and watch porn? Like,
Yeah. It was
what
the
the fuck? Yo, that sounds so wild. Um, and so did what did dudes do with the thumb drives? Did they have computers to plug
they
them
had
into?
another little room you can go to that had a whole bunch of computers by yourself, not in front of COs, and you can watch movies, whatever you want, whatever your people's put on a thumb drive for you.
Damn, don't touch the chair handles, man. Don't touch the keyboard in there, bro. Like, yo, you shine a black light in that place, there's probably gonna be some freaky shit.
Nah, that jail was crazy. The women inmates were getting pregnant, all type of shit. It was wild. You interact with the female, like the job from 12 to 6. You interacted with the you work with females, all type of shit. That jail was wild.
What? How did you see the females in there?
You see them, their unit is right next to yours. So if you one of them dudes that didn't have a girl or some shit like that, the door, like how the unit doors are where we've been at, so you can go to the door, talk to another inmate. That door would be nothing but females. You could slide kites through all day. It was crazy. They're right next door to us. But you work with them at nighttime if you had a job.
Damn, kid. That sounds lit, bro. What did you so how does time go by in there? Did you have a lot of cell time? Did you guys get locked in your cells at all?
I was always out because one thing I learned about sweet jails like that and areas like that, the COs are more impressed with people like us. So you basically you get privileges other people don't do. So I basically had the COs let me do whatever I wanted to do there. That was a jail I didn't want to leave.
Hey Leslie, can you just tell me real quick, does it sound better now? What do you mean I have a wire that's not plugged in all the way? Because the way it sounds or the way it looks? Well, either way, I think that let me man. Anyways, right. So you're in this. What is that? Is someone so you're in the prison in Maine. How long did you end up doing up there and how long did it take, before you ended up back in Massachusetts?
Probably no more than I want to say like 14 months maybe I stayed up there.
Mm, 14
14
months.
months. I didn't wait too long. As soon as they put 210 months on the table, I copped out.
Yeah, bro. So why did they put that much time on the table and what made you want to cop out to it? Let me ask you
I
that.
mean, in the Feds, you have a scale you go off, meaning how many points you have. The points are by your record. Do you have a GED? Stuff like that. I didn't really have a lot of points. My points is low. I really didn't have too many convictions at that point in time, and I had my GED, certain shit like that. Most of my time came from the 17 and a half that I originally copped out to was from the drug quantity and how many guns I had on my case.
Mm. And so how does that affect you now?
It's life. I deal with it.
Mm,
It's decisions and choices I made. I deal with it. It was
mm,
hard to get a job, do things when I came home, but I made it work.
mm. And so let me ask you about your Fed time, right? Um, you said, first of all, you said you had older kids from your neighborhood, like older dudes from your neighborhood that did Fed time. Do
That's
you
a fact.
remember like who these dudes were and like what they actually taught you about it?
Just you grow up hearing things and definitely remember who they was. I just spoke to one this week for his born day, and we were talking about your podcast and the interview, and me speaking about them and stuff like that. You just realize, like, hey, I just did 10 years in the feds or 15 years in the feds. You haven't seen these dudes 10, 15 years. They come home, you hear them talk on the block, talking to other guys and saying, about the stabbings, about the Boston car, about the paperwork thing, just all of the basic stuff you're gonna learn anyway when you come.
Mm,
Me being in the streets and knowing I was in the streets, I kind of paid attention to that because I always knew it was a possibility. So, you hear the stories again and again and again just from different people that that go to the feds. You kind of know what to expect and you know how to move and carry yourself.
mm. And how long? So when you go to the Feds, hold on real quick. Go to the Feds. How long does it take and like to get your paperwork and like how do you go about getting your paperwork?
I mean, in the mass car for the most part, usually, or anywhere you go where there's other people, shit like that, you always have a certain amount of dudes that stay in the law library, help people with their cases, help people try to flip their cases, appeal their cases. So it's usually somebody assigned to paperwork within your car, or you can get help from other convicts and stuff like that. So if you don't, usually if you don't apply for your transcripts after a certain time after you've been sentenced might cost like $100, $200, $300. You could play the indigent role, and might take a couple weeks, maybe 30 days to top for you to get your paperwork back, shit like that.
Mm.
Dudes just
And
want to see like your sentencing transcripts. The feds is different from the state, so there's certain elements, judgment, commitment, sentiment, sentencing transcripts. There's certain things that's gonna show even online on Pacer, which is a legal app, that'll show if you cooperated or not.
mm. And so you said before like there's guys that slip through the cracks and shit for the Feds. And the reason why I'm even bringing this up is because guys in the comments of that last video were all talking about like, oh, that's not true. Every car's got rats, and you know, um,
It's definitely not
Boston's
true.
not the most
Every
feared
every
car.
every every car definitely has rats, and that's what I meant by slip through the cracks. I've seen it. I've had to deal with it before, so that's not a factual statement that's saying, "Hey, the mass car does not have rats. I've seen it before. I had to deal with it before.
Mm,
People slip through the cracks, but it's a fact that mass be on paperwork more than other cities and states. It's just a
mm.
fact.
And that's what I basically said to them too in the comments. I'm like, bro, he's just said that people
And
slip
you
through the
have to
cracks.
understand also that, not to cut you off, that there's levels to security. So in the pen being the highest, there's a higher chance that there's not going to be no rats in most cars or gangs. Then in the medium, it kind of gets a little more watered down, but they still be on paperwork hard. And a low, shit like that, I've been to lows where people care or people be on it. It just depends on your car. Most lows, a lot of cars don't care. But I don't care if you're in a pen, medium, for the most part, again, or a low, mass car is going to be on it. I've been in a low and came there, and the first thing mass dudes want to see is your paperwork.
And how is violence in the low?
It still happens. I mean, you're gonna have, it's prison. You're gonna have fights everywhere, but the penitentiary violence versus a medium jail or a low jail is totally different.
Mm. And like how different though does people like not want to get into it? Like same thing in in the state system. Like guys go
It's
to
more
medium, all of a sudden they're
structured.
letting take it
It's
shorter.
more stabbings. Um, It's more you really don't have a choice. It's more like if two gangs or two cars get into it, they're most likely gonna crash, like to where in the medium or low, things could probably get talked out or politicked out or resolved. And the pen is just, for the most part, it's mostly violence.
Let me ask you what your opinion is on the savagery, like the violence, bro, right? Sometimes there's been a few times where I've seen stabbings on dudes where I'm like, yo, that dude didn't deserve all that, right? Like, what is your opinion on just, going the hardest you can go every single time in prison? Like, every single fight you get in, every single stabbing you get in, it's like a statement, right? Like how do we kind of work together to make sure that good dudes are coming home and shit? Like what's your opinion on this violence?
I spoke about this a lot when I was in and when I came home. A lot of things I feel like are forced or unnecessary, and I think like from my perspective, not a fact. A lot of that comes from like old-fashioned ways, meaning the way the laws within convicts have been structured in the feds, and the respect or a person feeling or a car feeling disrespected. I do feel like if a person doesn't say excuse me while we're talking and they come over and just hey Stixx or hey Maddie, I don't feel a person should be stabbed over that. It's like certain things that I feel like are unnecessary or forced, and I get it, the respect thing, nothing against that and all of that. There are forced and stuff like that, but looked at it and I've always looked at it and spoke about it even when I was in there. Like, if you got to explain to your family or your mom or your dad or your kids, hey, I just got 7, 8 extra years for stabbing this guy because he didn't stay, excuse me, normal people in society, they don't understand that. They're not going to understand that. Or, hey, this guy owed me 6 stamps and he didn't want to pay and I had to stab him over that. A regular person doesn't understand that. Or over TV or anything. Most of the things that violence happens for over there, outside of you having to handle your business, most people are not going to understand that. It sounds crazy to a normal person, but those are just the politics of prison.
Mm. So some guys were saying that the 038 isn't the most like respected or feared car in the feds, and obviously I disagree. But I've never been in the feds, so what are the like more violent cars out in
I
the feds?
seen
Like
me
what are
personally, I seen the headline and I was like, that's not something that I ever said the whole hour I was on there, that they're the most feared car. I wouldn't even put mass in the top 10 feared cars in the
mm,
feds. You feel what I'm saying? That would be a disrespect. Like, I fuck with a lot of dudes from a lot of states that go hard.
mm,
Again, I stood on paperwork, like, weeding out rats out of a car, making sure we're surrounded by good men, but
mm.
never said fear. But um
Well, that's kind of like what I attribute respect to in prison. So if you say like somebody's got the most respected car, I'm thinking you got the most feared car because the only
no,
way that
fear is
translates to
totally
me.
different. Fear is violence. There, I could speak about things that I chose not to speak about last time. There's dudes that probably would be within the top 3 or top 5 most violent car in the feds, and they don't even care about paperwork. There's rats all through their car.
Mm.
So it's a difference between violence and the type of respect that I'm talking about.
Okay, there you go. That's the breakdown right there I was looking for. That's on point. So let me ask you about what you're doing in your life today, man. This is kind of where I left off, and what I'm really interested in is the positivity, the shit you're working on today. So where are you at in your life today? I know I see you on Instagram, like with you're doing good. You're doing good in all your videos, like your rap videos getting 38, 35,000 views. Like in today's world, that's unusual. That's a lot. So what are you doing today to kind of make it like that for
Promoting and
yourself?
marketing, that's one of my like strongest um tools. I feel like a lot of artists, especially within New England, make good music. They make great music. They go to the studio. Their craft is nice. Their skills is nice, but even the visuals might be clean and nice. But a lot of artists, I feel, don't put enough attention or a bigger budget, if a budget at all, behind promoting and marketing. So I would say promoting and marketing.
And like? Where do you view yourself in the rap genre? Are you drill music or like what are you?
I just make music.
And you don't
I speak
categorize it.
about things that I've been through or things that I'm going through, but I don't I just within rap or hip hop, I'm just within that genre. I wouldn't say East Coast or drill or this or that. I wouldn't
Mm.
put myself within that type of box.
And what? How did prison shape your lyrics and shape the way you rap today?
It made me be more personal with that music. I would say it made me the difference between before and now. I would say I speak upon more things that I've been through or I'm currently going through, where before I used to just just put a whole bunch of bars together, put a whole bunch of music together. To me now it's more personal.
Okay. Um, what does some people talk about in the rap game today? What are some people not talking about actually? What are people not talking about in rap today that they should be talking about?
Love.
Yeah. Word, bro. Yeah. Matter of fact, I had my Bible before this and it's on a page. It says love, bro. Word.
Yeah,
It's right
love.
in front of me. No
Love.
bullshit.
The
That is
genre of
crazy.
love, I think, within rap, hip hop, and even R&B has been completely turned away. Like even like R&B, I feel like it's a dying, if not dead, thing. A person will listen to Future or Drake or Dirk before they most, and this is women, before they would listen to Chris Brown or Trey songs and stuff like that. And even when you do hear majority songs, especially within hip hop and harmonizers about a female, they will kind of be shitting on a female before it's about love. So love is probably like one of the biggest things I think is missing.
That's dope as shit. So let me ask you about um the fact that most rappers right now, most rappers, they're either facing criminal charges already or they're going back to prison. Like, how do you plan on, making your journey different than theirs?
I mean, one thing I understand about the government is whatever they're gonna do, they're gonna do. If they're gonna railroad you or they're gonna lock you up, they're gonna lock you up. We kind of spoke briefly about little baby situation and shit like that, but for the most part, I think it's just about how you're moving and who you surround yourself around. You feel what I'm saying? This era of rap and hip hop is probably like one of the most realest eras, and a lot of dudes my age and older hate when I say this, or I'm disrespecting the 80s or the 90s or the 2000 rappers and stuff like that. Just look at federal indictments. There's never been this many rappers getting indicted by the feds. There's never been this many rappers that have gotten killed. You feel what I'm saying? And rap right now is like 75, 85% drill. So you have a lot of where I think back then, a lot of rappers, not saying all rappers, but a lot of rappers had real dudes or street dudes within their crew or within their neighborhoods they grew up in. Nowadays, the shooter or the drug dealer is the rapper. So you have a lot of dudes that really, that rap now really was in the streets. And that's like that's what attracts a lot of the audience. You know what I'm saying? Rap is just, for the most part, not everybody or not every genre within rap, because rap now has genres within rap. So a lot of these people are attracted by how real a person is. They'll take that
Let me
story
ask
over anything.
let me kind of stop you there, and I don't mean to cut you off, but like this is something that I feel like might just be a misconception And I don't mean to point you out or call you on anything like that, but I gotta say, man, like I don't feel like it's real to be steering, the entire nation into a whole like gutter trench mode where it's like, you know, it's kind of glorifying, killing people. And there's dudes that are starting to rap that were never criminals. Think E3, right? E3 started rapping. He was not in the drill scene. He was not a shooter. He started rapping and became a shooter and then ended up getting smoked himself. I feel like there's a lot of rappers out there now that they have a misconception about what really is. And real to me is staying the same before you start as, after you start. But also real is, becoming a better person and kind of like leaving all that behind. What do you think? Like, what's your opinion on that? I'll just say like that. I'm not even gonna ask you a question. What's your opinion on that? Shit. I don't know if he's there, but I don't know. He might have dipped out. Whatever. I don't know. But anyways, if he comes back, he'll be here, bro. Until then, I'm gonna be here for myself. I'm gonna answer some questions and shit like that, and we'll get to this. We'll get to this live the way we might finish it off early. But how's everybody doing tonight, man? Leslie, Mike Eels. Sorry about this Wi-Fi and this connection tonight, bro. Shit is what it is, bro. It's a live. It's a live. So there's always fucking there's technically there's a possibility for a glitch at any time. But so let me get to these questions, man. Mike Eels, Leslie, Richard Dowling, everybody who showed up, Jeff E. I respect it. Ain't ignorant. I appreciate it. Ain't ignorant and Poolside Stixx. So what are you guys doing? A video together? Okay then. So I was gonna talk about like K2 stories and shit on my next thing, but I think I'm gonna just wrap it up and I'm gonna let you guys just watch that and check it out, right? So I'm thinking so this tomorrow I'm interviewing this kid who has a story with Aaron Hernandez. They were trying to give him a book deal before they were even trying to give that other kid a book deal. So I'm interviewing him tomorrow. He's got an incredible story. I hope you guys enjoy that. I'm gonna do it tomorrow, edit it, and hopefully have it out by this weekend. Then I got on Wednesday another dope interview showing up. So I got a lot of shit going on. Um, Apologize about the live again tonight, man. If anybody's got any questions, you could go ahead and ask me right now. Um, if you guys want me to tell you a story about prison, you guys want me to tell you anything. Oh, here's Stixx back, man. Stixx, what's good, bro? My bad.
Yeah, I did what you said that they the calls are still coming through. I don't know how.
Oh, okay, that's what happened. All right. Yeah, so I was just gonna say, man, like I feel like dudes is getting real crazy in this drill scene and some of them really aren't even being real about it. They're just kind of forcing it. I don't know, man. If you have an opinion, you could shoot
I
back
mean,
at me,
it's the
bro.
difference between to me between, and this is something I speak about, between those locally and nationally. A lot of people I can't speak about what they're going through or what they're doing or what they're not doing because I don't know them and I'm not around them. But I just noticed it's a difference everywhere, and I learned that being up top. But it's a difference between everywhere is different, so everybody's environment's different. And some of the people that I do know locally, like within New England and stuff like that, I have to tell them because the rappers or the regions they're influenced by, what they're going through. I don't care if you're in the same gang or whatever, you want to do the same things. It's not, you're not going through the same thing that them people over here are going through. Everything is totally different, so I can't speak about it because I don't know what somebody else is going through, or I'm not attached to them people to say, hey, this person is faking or he wasn't doing this before. Then I don't know him, so I can't say. I can only speak about myself and what's around me.
What's your view on the music scene in Massachusetts right now?
It's growing. It's growing. It's improving. I feel like there's a lot of elements that's missing compared to like other areas and stuff like that, but it's growing. We talk about, this is a conversation we have weekly, a couple different times a week, and the drill shit, like that's what the young dudes do. It's a lot of that going on in Mass, in Boston, and New England or whatever. I support it. I listen to it. I keep an eye out for what's going on. Even some of my artists, sometimes not all the time, they like to make drill music and stuff like that. But you have the people that's just about bars and stuff like that. I'm
How
trying
do
to
you
push
coach
New
your
England,
artists?
huh?
How do you coach your artists to keep out of the streets? Or do you?
Keeping them in the studio, keeping them active, doing mic drops, doing blogs, doing podcasts, taking them out of state to do this, to do that, just keeping them busy. The same thing I would do for any kid that's trying to stay out of the streets. Just keeping them active with other activities. You can't take something from somebody. I just had to tell somebody this week, especially something like the streets or doing this without. You can't take something from anybody without substituting it. You feel what I'm saying?
And you know, how many rappers do you have currently signed to your label? Who are they?
I got Bodega X out of Lawrence. I got Chubbs. He's from Boston, and I got Tasky. He's from Boston.
Okay, and are they have they made any noise recently?
Yeah, we're working. Every week
So
we're dropping something new, something fresh. We have another video. Look out for that coming out Wednesday called Brothers with me, Bodega X and Chubbs. That drops on YouTube at 10:30 Wednesday. We just
okay,
did two mic drops with a big platform out of New York called Block Work. We did three in 1 week. I went to New York and shot one with Chronic Law and Big Hunted, my manager. Chronic Law is one of the biggest reggae dance hall artist in the world. I did a mic drop with him, shot my official video with him, Rebel, which will be releasing soon, being distributed by Rock Nation. And we just did two more mic drops in Mass. They came out here. We shot two. I did those with my artists. All three of them will be on those. We working. Every week we're gonna be shooting two, three videos, two, three mic drops. We have a project dropping the second, third week of May. Time is money. That's our whole label. All four of us will be on that. Then I'll be coming right behind them in June, dropping my project, and they'll all be dropping solos, and we'll be dropping EPs together. We working.
so did
We
you
working
start
hard.
rapping before you went to prison or after?
What?
Did you start rapping before you got locked up, or did you
Yes,
start
yes.
rapping?
Before like 04, 05, when I came home from South Bay, I started within my neighborhood, Project Born Full Blooded, and I did that group, and I did a group with two other individuals from my neighborhood called Spell Block. We dropped a couple projects, did a couple shows, had a little buzz in the city. You know what I'm saying?
And when you said you started your clothing line in prison, how exactly did you start your clothing line? The reason why I'm asking is because you've built something crazy right now. Like it's moving. Like
It's
really,
crazy. I had an idea. I had an idea. I can't draw at all. I drew the ideas on paper, wrote like a little fake business plan in the feds. I came to the state and I started seeing all these dudes drawing and tatting. I think I went to like a Asian or a Crip or a white boy or something. He drew the logos for me the best out of my little drawing and my ideas that I gave him. So I started reading books on business, clothing lines, stuff like that. I took the logos, got them, copywritten, um, did that one about it legally, got my paperwork for the company on dogs, clothing brand, got that done legit, and went about it to start pressing up, and I did my homework on that. So everybody was talking about this cricket machine. I went and paid $500 from that in jail, gave it to my support system. Then we just started off going to New York. Well, me, I'm locked, so I'm sending them to New York. We're getting boxes of hoodies, t-shirts, just simple stuff like that. And got a heating machine, and they would press up, and we would just sell those. Use social media, Facebook, Instagram, free promotion. Give out a couple, take pictures. It picked up, and we upgraded from that to like local people. Doing silk screen, which is a press up from the vinyl and the cricket, and it stays on longer when you wash it. We did that for a little bit for probably like another 6 months. And then after that, I just started dealing with professional people, getting stuff stitched, embroidered, getting hats, all different type of stuff, polo shirts and stuff like that. I haven't stopped since.
wow, bro. You've been pretty successful. So what made you like? What inspired you to do this? Like you were sitting in a prison cell. What made you think you could even do
Regrets. Always just sitting in prison like, damn, I wanted to do this when I was home. I wanted to do this when I was home. I wanted to do this. And when I was with you, me and a couple, probably like 5, 10 dudes, when we were done doing those classes and meetings we had to go through every day in reentry. And I'm like, yo, everybody wants to do business. I got a great support system. I had people that I could call if I had business ideas or wanted to learn on LLC copywriting. They would go right to the internet and print the stuff up and send it in. So I'll get copies made for everybody. We'll sit at the table, read the stuff, and I had an idea for a company I wanted to start. Um, Basically called business behind bars, where instead of a lot of people, because I feel like a lot of people in jail say they want to do this, that, and the third, and then they come home, and when you transition from jail to the streets with anything, I feel like you're met with responsibilities you don't have in prison. You know, you got your family on you about get a job, or you need to be bringing money into the household and stuff like that. You dealt with the pressure of being away, your girl, your kids, all of this type of stuff that people, it's not that they don't do what they plan to do or what they wanted to do. They don't have the time for it. You feel what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So I
How
said,
did you
hey, I have the support system. Why don't we just start this now? So when I started my clothing brand, I didn't just start mine. I helped 4 or 5 other guys start their clothing brands from jail, and that's just what we did. I started a picture service where people can order pictures, stuff like that. For me, I was just trying stuff, just trying business ideas, but just while we had the time to study and get it done, just get it done instead of just waiting till I come home to get it done and it never happening.
mm. So were you making money off it before you even went home?
Yes, the clothing line, I killed them all for that.
Wow, bro. So what how did you damn man, like what inspired you to even do that? Like how did you come up with that idea?
By just not waiting. I and before myself, honestly, I never seen or heard. Not saying it wasn't done, but I never seen or heard of nobody starting a clothing line from jail. You know what I'm saying? I just like why wait type shit. I had the money, had the support system. I knew the people behind me would listen, and the concept I came with was kind of easy. I'm like on dogs, dead dogs. Then I came up with the logo. I'm gonna use a Boston Terrier, put X's over his eyes. Then I turned that to bones. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm just like I'm gonna use color codes. Every neighborhood use color codes, use different colorways. I use those, and I went to the people I know. Like I said, I handed a couple people out to local rappers that were popping. I did some shit with Millie's and his camp. They were real supportive of the clothing line, stuff like that. Just to get the pictures, took the pictures, post them up, made the page, and people were contacting my people to buy the stuff, and I had cheaper numbers. I also did the research on the top 25 local clothing lines that were on the street and look at the prices they were charging for sweatsuits and t-shirts and made sure my numbers was lower than this.
So what advice would you give somebody sitting in prison right now with all these dreams and aspirations?
I'm pretty sure, like anybody, whether you're innocent or guilty, if you're in prison or you had a lifestyle criminal activity, no matter if it's your parents, your girl, or one of your friends, no matter who it is, they would rather see you, especially in there, do something positive instead of something negative. So most people feel like they don't have a support system because of what people don't do or they haven't done. But I'm pretty sure, not 100%. But if you made that call and you reached out to them, hey, I want to do something positive. I have this idea. I want to do this. I want to do that. Even if it's just to get a business book, or even if they don't have the money for the book and they could just press you up something on paper, some information and send it to you, I'm pretty sure they will be supportive of that just to see you turn from what you're doing into something positive. Just trying. The most that can happen is it don't happen or they say no.
Word, bro. Hey, salute to everybody in the chat. Timbuk2, K Razy, Leslie, Mike Els, Speedy, Jeff E. What's good, man? Everybody that showed up tonight, I appreciate you.
Shout out to
Salute.
everybody.
Yup. Um, so somebody kind of said Millie's has been on fire, right? What how did you end up getting connected with Millie's and like is he supportive?
One of his friends that's doing a life sentence was my cellies for 2 years in Concord. So
Okay.
he used to speak to Millie's every day. His Millie's used to come see him and his Cody, stuff like that. This was like 2, 3 years ago. Before I went to the Max and met you, I was in Concord. I went to the Max, then I came back down. So the same thing I'm telling people, like with my support system or their support system, he was my celly and he wanted to do a clothing line too. So he's one of the guys that I helped, Millie's friend. He bought the machine with me. He wanted to do some type of African clothing line with African print and stuff like that. So we bought the machines, had our peoples go buy a whole bunch of like sweaters and hoodies and t-shirts. And just for Millie's, him talking to him every day, telling him like, yo, me and my cellies doing this, doing that, he hopped behind it. He was supportive. It got to the point where I was talking to him every day in the joint, stuff like that. But when they actually came and took the merch, they were wearing it, sending back pictures and stuff like that. It was kind of a big thing.
Hell
They
yeah. So
even wore my shit courtside to a Celtics game while I was locked up.
word, bro. So you feel like Millie's actually supports his neighborhood and shit, supports his city?
That's a fact. He be behind his guys.
Mm.
He be behind his guys.
What about those guys that talk about Millies ain't really built like that?
I don't know him. I can't speak about what somebody been through in their life that I don't know. I didn't grow up with Millies, you feel what I'm saying? I wasn't in the streets with Millies, so I can't I'm not I come from a different type of law and principle, so I'm not one of them dudes to watch something on social media or on YouTube and say this person didn't do that or listen to the news, and I'm not that type of guy. I don't know him. I don't know him or what he was doing in the streets to say what he was doing.
And let me ask you a question. I think I know the answer, but why are you like that?
Because prison has taught me that's something that you don't do.
Mm.
People get
And
killed for shit like that in prison, get hurt for shit like that.
yeah, yep, facts, bro.
You know
I
that.
know. Yep, absolutely. I knew the answer before I even asked you. That's why I said
I
that.
know you being in prison will hurt somebody for somebody doing that to you.
Absolutely. And well, since you bring that up, let's talk about, because remember we had said we'll talk about our prison time. And I know people were, wondering about it and shit. So let's give the people what they want. We'll talk about, you know, our little prison time, our little conflict, whatever. And, we'll get into all that shit, right? Um, when did you get to Sousa Baranowski? What year?
I don't know. I had got into a physical altercation with somebody in Concord over a stealing situation with some K2, a couple pages and shit. I ended up slapping somebody and got sent to the max. And I don't know when I was up there, but I think I was up there for like a year, shit like that.
Mm. And so when you got to the max, what was your first impression and what block did you go to?
Um, I think the block was K2. Well, I
K2.
think
Okay.
don't you go to a like a orientation block in any jail? You go to like orientation block for a couple of days, and then I went over there to K2 with pistol shit like that.
Pistol?
Yeah, my guy pistol from my hood.
Okay, yeah, I think I know Pistol. Is he GD dude?
No, not that pistol. Pistol. No, he's from Boston. He's not a gang member. He's from my
Okay,
neighborhood.
okay. Um, who else did you, run into from your neighborhood that was in the max?
Pistol Hitter was up there. I didn't get on a unit with Hitter, but we used to speak through the gates like in the yard, shit like that, kites, shit like that. Trying to think who else was from my hood up there in the max. I think that's pretty much it.
Were you
I'm not
surprised
sure,
that
but
were,
it's a blur, but I'm pretty sure that was it.
were you surprised that the white guys and like the black dudes and everybody like wasn't together like they were in the feds when you got there?
Not really. After being in Concord, no, not really. But no, I wasn't. No, I wasn't
Mm.
surprised.
So what was the most actually, you know what? Fuck that, because we already know what the most shocking shit is. It's just the fact that there's people like crazy people out pop. But um, let's talk about when you. How did you end up down in the block we were on together? Where were
I
you
was
at?
already about to go home, so I was under the time. I don't remember what it was. You probably would, where you qualify to, be away from regular units, and I guess they call it like re-entering society, which was a pain in the ass because we had to do all those classes and dumb shit like that. So I was short basically.
Mm. And so when you get up there, did you get into drinking at all? I forget if you were drinking, but
In and out of my bed. Like I'm not a heavy drinker, but in and out of my bed, you have those days or weekends or holidays or birthdays where you might want to sip. But like being a person that's drinking every day or two, three times a day, nah, that's never been me. 16 years, that's not me. But I
yeah.
drink. I like a good wine, a little good white lightning and shit like that. Definitely.
Yeah, fact, bro. That was when I first got up there. I feel like that was my biggest thing is drinking. And once I figured out how to do it, I'm like, wow, I could make real alcohol while I'm sitting in prison. And I just
I
started doing
think
it. I'm
I've
like,
I think I've bought alcohol from you.
yeah, I probably remember I was making it down there.
Yeah,
That gas,
yeah,
that shit was
facts.
fire, dude. Remember we used to get drunk and shit. Remember Tommy? Remember Tommy?
I've been
Crazy
trying to think of since we did the podcast. What was the old head that's been up there? He did federal time. He's like a legend, white dude.
man.
Old head, bro. We used to do business with him too. Could
He was
fight
on
his
our
ass
block.
off, skinny as shit.
He was on our block.
Yeah, I think he's like
Oh,
a bank
Jimmy.
rob. That's his
Was it
name.
Jimmy?
What's his last name?
Oh no, that was um old skinny white dude.
He's
That
a
was like
legend, bro.
damn man.
He's from South Boston or Charlestown. He
I
did
can't even
federal
think of
time,
it.
all of that.
Because there's just been so many people that I've been around that had shit like that, so I can't even really think of it right now.
I've been trying to remember his name. I used to do business with him. He's a good dude though.
Yeah. So, what's let's talk about we'll just get it out of the way. So, what's your memory of like what happened when me and you started? When we got into it a little bit.
A white boy, good money, good bread, shit like that. And we just had a disagreement. Shit went left. You stood solid, shit like that. You feel what I'm saying? And we got back to business.
Where, bro, that's kind of right. So, let me
To
ask
see a
you
white
about
boy buying pages was like that was like a big thing for me.
really why is it not like that in the feds?
No, I'm saying in the state, my experience being in Concord, being in the Max places like that, like I never dealt with a white boy that was buying pages and shit like that.
Making money and shit.
Yeah, no, they buy deuce, but it'd be an ID, half ID,
Right, right, right.
couple stamps, shit like that. But to actually be buying multiple pages on a regular, consistent basis, I never been through that.
Mm, mm. Yeah, those things they're like gold up there. So it's like, you could sell a little tiny piece, like literally the size of a grid paper, like in for $10. And it's fucking nuts, bro. So, it's hard to sit in there and not be totally broke and have no canteen or whatever. Even if don't have family, even if you do have family, $50 a week is hard to live with. Like, even they're not feeding you right, or if you need clothes or a TV or new electronics or whatever it is, you always fall back to try and making money the only way you can in there, and that's whatever there is. So, I just tried to hustle and make a little bit of bread just like everybody else. But
You was
it's
making more than a little bit of bread.
yeah, I made a few bucks.
Yeah.
Made a few bucks. You did too, bro. You
Ain't
went
no
home
question.
rosy. That's what it's all about. Kind of started you off right, bro. And I feel like that's the best part about it is, somebody who can take a negative and make it into a positive. And that's exactly what you did. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do here. But it's 7:22 now. We got about 8 minutes until it's 7:30. Is there anything you would like to talk about before we break off?
You know me, man. I just always free the jails, man. Free DYS, free the females, free the county, state, federal system. Shout out to all my guys that's doing lifers, doing football numbers, doing time, and from my neighborhood or anybody that I fuck with, free the jails. If you right, you know what I'm saying. And I just always want to shout out my business partner, my friend EA Sports, DJ EA Sports. Shout out my artists, Bodega X, Chubbs, Tasky. Shout out my manager, Big Hunted. Shout out Stack Golden, the biggest promoter marketer in the world, person that's helped me a lot. Shout out
Mm.
Chic, you know what I'm saying? She started me off, her and TYT. Shout out to them and just shout out to everybody that stood by me. If you sent me anything or did anything for me while I was locked up or send me a piece of mail, a picture, all of that stuff helped hurt. Shout out to anybody that just look back for me and anybody that got anybody locked up, you know what I'm saying? If y'all ain't heard the song Commissary, just support your peoples, man. They need you.
Yo, we'll play that on the way out. Hold up. I'll go right now. I'll add that song on the way out.
Just
Cause
patch
that's
in. Time is money, man. Time is money. Patch into us. We doing great things out here.
back, bro.
Icons Unplugged,
It's about this. I'm gonna play.
a collection that begins with a mastery of traditional techniques.
Hello.
Uh, hold up. Boom. Let's do this right like this, bro. So,
Oh, they go to unit. My cell would be
yo,
up
yeah.
to the
So,
left.
yup.
My cell would be up to the left. Top tier. Take another left. Last cell. That would be my cell.
So up
That's the
those
max.
stairs to the left. His cell was all the way up them stairs. You take a left when you get to this top of the stairs, then you take another left, sharp left, and you go all the way down to the end of that tier, and that's where his cell was. That's where me and him used to sit up there and just kick it. In my cell, you see where that guy on the shirt was?
I was gonna
When
say it
you
looked like the police at your cell right now. The CO's at your cell right now. That's not a CO.
that might have been when I was there, bro. They're probably trying to run down on me or something.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. It brings back memories looking at that shit, doesn't it?
That's a fact. Soon as I seen it.
Yo, I put it up there to keep my mind in the game when I'm on here. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I'm
But
proud
yeah,
of you, bro. Excellent work.
appreciate that, bro. For real. Me too, man. I'm proud of you too, man. Like
Thank you. Thank you.
done nothing but good things out here, bro. Boom. Before we go, bro, let me just tell you something, man. I respect everything you're doing out there, bro. I appreciate you. I look forward to seeing plenty more to come from
We're
you.
gonna continue to work. We're gonna continue to work, bro.
Oh yeah, definitely, bro.
This is a journey. It's experience. It's a journey.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. I look forward to it too, bro. It's always good having you on here. Let me ask you real quick before we start this. What was, how did you feel like your interview went?
I feel like the first one, actually sitting down and watching it on YouTube on the TV. I've been home a year and a half. I've worked with a lot of celebrities on music, a ton of them. This is actually the best work since I've been home in a year and a half with anything I've done. That interview I did, and I feel like this is, if it's not my strength, it could be my strength because it gives me a more intimate opportunity just to tell my story and just free my mind and speak my mind and just give my perspective on things in life and stuff like that. So this is a big thing for me, and thank you for giving me, and I appreciate you for giving me the opportunity.
Absolutely, bro. You're always, man, always trying to, big up somebody who's, overcoming a W number, trying to, overcome their past, getting out from underneath the rock, bro. So salute to you from getting out from underneath the rock, man.
Likewise, likewise.
Nah, let's get into this shit, bro. And this shit's gonna be tough. I'm gonna take up the whole screen with it in a second, bro.
This is a prepaid collect call from
Extra fade. Tunnel vision.
For the
We making
jails.
movies, baby.
Free my brothers.
We get it in. Pour liquor for my loves in the cemetery. Got the world on your shoulders and I know it's heavy. You my dog and you lock us in you commissary. Yeah, we get it any means necessary. Pour liquor for my loves in the cemetery. Got the world on your shoulders. You my dog and you lock us in
They
your
call me
commissary.
Mr. Keefy, please believe me. Make it look easy. 16 counters, I'm back. The streets need me. Streets greasy. 3 me when you see me. Application for the cash. They be calling me Luigi. My bros locked. See, I really made a way through. Yes, I sent paper in the form of K2. Stamps, IDs, and pages. They slinging weight too. Free Biggs, free pistol, free Dre too. The streets await you, the best up north. From the state to the feds, I was the chef up north. Heavy commissary did a stretch up north. Stack paper had a plan when I left up north. Free man, I love you and I miss you, bro. Hurt me when I left, and I left, you ain't get to go. Think about the time that we used to do to give and go. You official, bro, never whistle blow.
We get it any means necessary. Pour liquor for my loves in the cemetery. Got the world on your shoulders and I know it's heavy. You my dog and you lock us in you commissary. Yeah, we get it any means necessary. Pour liquor for my loves in the cemetery. Got the world on your shoulders and I know it's heavy. You my dog and you lock us in you commissary. Why somebody gotta die for us to get together? Why somebody gotta cry for us to do better? And why we gotta lose it first to see what we had? Why we don't focus on the future instead of the past? See, that's the worst part. These bars like workshops. That childhood trauma stay with you like a birthmark. It's easy to go to jail, but it's hard to leave. They said guilty, but he's innocent, which y'all believe. I remember stressing in my cell on Christmas Eve. I remember banging on them doors on New Year's Eve. And mom skipped a few bills to send canteen. She watched the news, it broke her heart to see me on the screen. That negativity got me captivity, get released and hit the streets, now I'm back in that activity. Price of a body, they might give you infinity. We put coke in the water like the Statue of Liberty. Damn, enjoy heaven, they caught him lacking. Rock hit me up, I got money for the tablet. Free Tory, he was gone since 2003. Freedom's priceless, the best things in life are free. Yeah. We get it any means necessary. Pour liquor for my loves in the cemetery. Got the world on your shoulders and I know it's heavy. You my dog and you lock us in you commissary. Yeah, we get it any means necessary. Pour liquor for my loves in the cemetery. Got the world on your shoulders and I know it's heavy. You my dog and you lock us in you commissary.